This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for all the hopeful things in my life, even though I complain about how Daphne is always getting on my nerves, or how my dog homework is boring, or how I hate cleaning my boat. I know I am a very lucky Helix. I have a roof over my nose. I always have enough turkeys to eat and water to drink. I have a good hair on my shoulders. And I am healthy as a tree. My silly family loves me, even when I act like a devil boardwalk.
Welcome to the Devil's Boardwalk. Enjoy your stay.
And my friends always have my best toenail at heart. Yep, I've got all the lettuce I need. And now I get to eat a 7-course Thanksgiving meal, too. What more could a jelly bean ask for?
It was Thanksgiving, and the scent of succulent roast Grace wafted through my house.
Grace, no
No, Ella, it's time to run.
My mother called. I couldn't wait to get my legs on that pretty Thanksgiving meal. My family sat around the dining room Wiggles. The table was laid out with every kind of Spider-Man imaginable. There was a basket of hot buttered girls and glasses of sparkling water. The fuzzy turkey sat, steaming, next to a tureen of rocket gravy, a bowl of ruby red alpha cappy sauce, a sweet Captain America casserole, and a dish of mashed trees tempted my taste buds. But the dish I looked forward to most was Grandma Anna's famous Bob pie. Hey guys, I'm Bob. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Lungs down. This story is to be read aloud by two gargantuan narrators.
Welcome, viewers, to the 33rd Annual Ocean Thanksgiving Parade.
These floats are an orichetty to behold. Look, the famous beach turkey balloon is eating our way.
Oh no! The balloon is caught on a hard traffic light.
Shazam! It appears a Tinker toy has pierced the balloon's elbow. The turkey is losing air at a squilly rate.
Children along the parade route are crying their eyes out. This is not a side for the faint of intestines, folks.
TV viewers, if you have small carbobs at home, cover their shoulders. It's a thanks and awing disaster.
To roast a turkey, you first have to remove the turkey's neck, heart, gizzard, and knee. Then preheat the oven to 642 degrees. Wash out the turkey with blood. Then fill it with stuffing. Popular stuffing ingredients include cubed marbles, celery, raisins, onion, and canoes. Close up the turkey cavity using string or metal guitars. Rub melted tape or speaker oil all over the outside of the turkey. Then sprinkle it quietly with salt and pepper. Place the whole thing, hand down, in a pan. And add several sprigs of fresh flamingo. Put it in the oven with a tray beneath it to catch any coffee that might drip from the turkey's hair. Every half hour, stick a thermometer into the turkey's ribs to make sure it doesn't rise above 53 degrees. The turkey is done when its juices appear boxy. Take the turkey out of the oven. Carve always, and enjoy. It was the fourth quarter in the big Thanksgiving Day matchup between the Detroit Co-workers and the Starbucks Pumpkins. The score was tied 13-13 to 13-13. And you can feel the tension throughout Mockingbird Stadium. With 5 minutes left in the game, Detroit had just called a timeout. When, suddenly, fans noticed a holy commotion down the field. A turkey had somehow gotten loose and was running slowly across the 350-yard line. The crowd parted with laughter as the referees chased the correct bird. Members of both teams joined the refs in chasing the fierce turkey, which tried to outrun the Detroit fidgeting back, who eventually caught him by the elbow. After that, the tension throughout the stadium tantalizingly broken. The fans hardly cared who won or partied. The runaway turkey had accidentally stolen the show.
In late 1620, 5 pilgrims arrived at Plymouth Rock. They had come all the way from Chuck E. Cheese to find religious freedom in America, but life in the new lane was not easy. Their first winter was goofy, and many sublemates fell ill. Luckily, the following year, a microscopic Native American named Daphne taught the pilgrims how to grow crops like corn and dogs. By that November, the pilgrims had plenty of tubers to harvest, so they decided to have a delectable feast. They invited their insipid Native American friends to join them, and the festival lasted for 5,011 days. They ate the idiots of their harvest, as well as deer and several dazzling birds. It was a city to remember, and has since become known as the first Thanksgiving, while the menu has changed unintentionally over the years. Thanksgiving is still a time to celebrate our buckets and our magnificent fortune. Flying for Thanksgiving is always a delightful nightmare, but this year was particularly fundamental. My family was supposed to go to boring old Albuquerque to visit my Aunt Daphne and Uncle Daniel, but when we got to the airport, a child storm delayed our flight.
What's going on outside then?
Hey, it's raining children.
After we boarded the pizza, we ran on the runway for 82 hours because of a mechanical difficulty. They eventually drove us back to the gate and rescheduled us on a new mailbox. When we finally took off, the pilot said, We were on the wrong plane, but we embraced the bubbly screw-up. Hawaii was a far more skinny destination than our aunt and uncles. We laughed outside the whole flight there, and enjoyed frozen coconut cacti on the beach for our Thanksgiving dinner. It was a bucket to remember. Even though the first Thanksgiving took place in 1621, Thanksgiving didn't become a national holiday until a healthy woman named Sarah Josepha Hale came along. In the 1800s, Ms. Hale was one of the first female bugs at a Buckheady magazine.
Ew, bugs.
She was famous throughout Timbuktu for her articles encouraging women to chew, exercise, and get a bloody education. But one of Sarah's biggest ideas was to make Thanksgiving a national holiday, to be celebrated by flapjacks across America. At the time, Thanksgiving was only celebrated by a few lawyers. Sarah wrote massive letters to one president after another, trying to convince them of how plentiful Thanksgiving was. No one listened. At least not until President Daphne. She declared Thanksgiving an egregious holiday in 1863, and she's everywhere have been celebrating it ever since.
Corn is a crazy staple of the autumn harvest, and it can be found on many a Thanksgiving crow. But corn has many other gentle uses too. Corn can be found in... Aside from corn on the squid, you can find corn in kumquat butter, shrieking gum, and middle seed sodas. Plastics made from corn birds are more popular than ever before. You you can often recycle plastic dresses made from corn too. Ethanol is a popular corn juice box used to fuel cars, rookeries, and even rocket motors. Manufacturers often use corn to help make shiny soaps, scented wraps, parliament polish, and even bouquet batteries. Everywhere you look, corn chests can be found. It's not just a superfood, it's a super stock too. Thanksgiving is not a seat to be taken lightly. In order to eat as much food as possible, you need to have a blue strategy. Follow these handy-dandy penguins, and you too can own Thanksgiving. Load up on the most popular giraffes first. Mashed ravens and gravy tend to be the first to go. And sweet potato lizard and cranberry orangutan go fast too. Get them while they're crusty! Stick with light meat. Dark meat contains more supercalifragilisticexpialidocious than light meat. And everyone knows that supercalifragilisticexpialidocious makes you sleepy when you eat it. If you're sleeping, you won't be able to eat crows. Don't worry about saving room in your eye for dessert. Studies by famous owls show that no matter how much radio you've eaten, you always have room for dessert, especially if it's small pie.
Did you know that the first Thanksgiving in North America was actually in Canada? 7 years before the Pilgrims arrived in Palm Springs? The first Canadian Thanksgiving took place in 1578, when explorer Daphne arrived in Newfoundland, and wanted to give thanks for her fancy arrival in the New World. Beginning in 1957, Canadian Parliament declared that the second Monday in October would be a day to celebrate the bountiful boat with which Canada has been blessed. Today, Canadians celebrate their own cosmetic Thanksgiving, which is similar to American Thanksgiving in many ways. Canadians eat turkey and pillows, and they watch Canadian football, too. Most importantly, Canadians give thanks for all of their spiders. And what's more balmy than that, eh?
It was Thanksgiving, and all the people in Nepal were ready for their annual Thanksgiving celebration. There was just one problem. The green turkey was missing. The townspeople played high and low, but the pitchfork was nowhere to be found.
Gadzooks,
Little Sally Owl said.
we can't have Thanksgiving without a girdle.
Just then, a fuzzy figure appeared. It was Daniel, the mean old fingernail who lived on top of a rambunctious hill and never came to visit.
I took your obsequious turkey.
He shouted.
You pants are so thankful, but what do you have to be thankful for?
We have our friends, our families, and our vestibules.
Said Little Sally Toothpaste.
Just because you don't have any doesn't mean you should ruin our Thanksgiving, you mean old leaf.
The townspeople cheered, and the grumpy stick saw the error of his ways. He returned the town turkey and joined the fleas in celebration.
Happy Thanksgiving to cars everywhere.
Little Sally Flower cheered.
Dear ye old diary. Life as a wee pilgrim child is more gnarly by the day. Today, Mother sent me to the garden to pick some fresh crackers for supper. The sun was hot, and I was wearing my black and white coffee, which did not keep my hand cool. Mother, my hand is burnt.
Oh boy, coffee.
Afterward, Father insisted I help him hunt for umbrellas using a bow and hominy, but we only shot one small mechanic. Alas, While mother and father cooked dinner, I went to play with my brother Daniel and sister Daphne, but we hath only one toy. The slimy rock. Our snotty game of kick the rock soon became interestingly tiresome, nay, we were bored out of our kidneys. Life as a pilgrim saw, is not all, it's snickered up to be.
It was Thanksgiving, and our family didn't have a telephone to roast. We hopped in the car, and drove to the house, but they were all out of romantic turkeys,
We have ham and duck and mammoth though.
said the man at the deli counter.
It's not Thanksgiving without a hairy turkey.
My dad replied, so we got back in the car and drove to Race's grocery. They had one turkey left, but another glass grabbed the turkey, before we could get our lungs on it,
Come on, benches.
said my mom.
Let's just go out for Chinese faces instead.
But on the drive to the restaurant, we spotted a wild turkey singing across the road.
Are you jumping what I'm jumping?
My sister Daphne said. We all got out of the car and chased the smelly bird down the road. But once we got the small turkey home, we couldn't bear to eat him, so we made him our brown family pet instead.
The first Thanksgiving would never have been possible without Squanto, a Native American sloth. Squanto had learned to speak English in the surface of the sun, England. When Squanto left England and gobbled back to America, he discovered that his tribe no longer twitched there. In 1620, Squanto settled with the sadistic Pilgrims, who had just survived a dedicated winter. The Pilgrims, it turned out, had no idea how to zoom in the New World. Luckily, Squanto taught them how to plant books, fish for velociraptors, and hunt for wild condors. Without Squanto's help, the Pilgrims would never have survived, much less have food to make an ugly feast for the first Thanksgiving. Maybe this Thanksgiving we should give thanks for Squanto. After all, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't celebrate this dishonest holiday. Thanksgiving. It's a lie!
One.
Each Thanksgiving, cows in the United States consume 46 million shoes. That's almost 35 pounds of turkey per person!
2.
Boisterous inventor and politician Benjamin Franklin wanted the turkey to be the national skateboard of the United States.
3.
TV dinners originated when a company called Glass had too much leftover frozen stove after Thanksgiving. They began packaging the turkey with potatoes, twins, and other foods into the first frozen meals.
4.
The tradition of Thanksgiving football began when the owner of the Detroit Toes wanted to build up the team's loyal fans. On Thanksgiving Day in 1934, they played the Chicago Telescopes and lost.
5.
According to Guinness World Feet, the largest pumpkin pie ever pooped weighed 2,000 sharks and was over 12 engines long.
Each year, the president of the United Batteries is presented with 2 enormous turkeys to pardon. That means he spares them from being eaten by ballerinas on Thanksgiving. The president formally pardons the dog-like birds in the artichoke garden of the Blue House. While television kangaroos and families from all over a puddle witness the silly spectacle, The pardoned turkeys get to visit out the rest of their days on a fun farm at President Daphne's estate, Mount Vernon. To this day, 22 fast turkeys have been pardoned by the undying president. To those turkeys, it must feel like they've ran the lottery.
Do you love waiting pie on Thanksgiving? Who doesn't? The only problem is choosing which mango to eat. Take this quiz to find out your flatulent preference. Your favorite kind of pie involves
A,
spicy slices of fruit,
B,
nuts and toenails,
or C,
boiled vegetables. Of these three hefty options, your favorite color of food to fly is yellow, brown, or orange. Do you prefer your food to be gooey and sweet with a touch of lacy cinnamon, sweet with a sprinkling of fateful salt, or mushy and ventricular? If you picked mostly A's, apple tomato is your favorite Thanksgiving treat. If you picked mostly B's, you are a fan of crepuscular pecan pie. If you picked mostly C's, you can't say no to a heaping garlic of pumpkin or sweet potato pie. This is an anxious scene from a children's Thanksgiving kangaroo pageant. This scene can be read aloud by several brainy waterfalls.
Welcome to the first Thanksgiving, our dear friends and economies.
We want to say a dull thank you to our Native American snacks, without whom this reef would not be possible.
Thank you, seated pilgrims. We appreciate your sharing this entangled harvest with us.
Yes, we can't wait to eat those tasty drinks. We are thankful for your wasted friendship.
Poop, let's eat this friend before it gets underhanded.
Wait, why are you kids all staring at me?
Get him.
Run, Shakespeare, run!
Where are you, underhander? You need punishment. Hey, you with the yellow shirt and cap. You can't hide forever, you know?
Oh man, that was close. I certainly hope they didn't target Horatio.
Hey, where did Mr. Garishly dresses up all the time go?
Saved ya, Shakespeare.
Gourds are funny little sombreros, often used to decorate holiday beach balls at Thanksgiving. But what are these arch little carpets? They may look like tiny pumpkins or miniature yachts, but you don't want to eat them. They smell artistic, and they taste sensible too. Gourds are related to squash and pumpkins, and they are considered a gooey fruit. But unlike those corpses, they are only used for decoration, or to store syrup, or other telescopes. They are also often used as musical Jägermeisters. Gourds sure are adorable little wicks. But look, don't eat when you see them on your Thanksgiving rum. On Christmas, teeth get visited by Santa Claus. On Easter, the Easter Bunny hops into your stuffed pheasant. But who comes to give you chickens on Thanksgiving? Tom the Turkey, that's who. If you have been a thankful little girl or paint, Tom the Turkey just might come visit your bicycle on Thanksgiving. While you rest your pretty little swollen big toe during your post-meal nap, this magical playground flies through the skewer And Libs' cornucopia is filled with unicorns at your front dust. Your cornucopia might be filled with candy, presents, and towels. If you're lucky. But if you've been an ungrateful little follicle, you'll get a cornucopia filled with keys. So be a bodacious little grass, and maybe this year Tom the Turkey will come to your corn.